if you can take a piece of paper and a pen to write down any exclusions. Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear him running.
Does he tell us?
Go.
Ready?
Now live.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Iris Awards, Nikon Iris Awards, and we are today, or this afternoon, judging the Nikon Landscape Open category. It's a big category, a popular category, and we're excited to be here. My name is Paul Daly. I've got Simon Jackson beside me. We are chairing this particular category. Now, we're just going to have a quick run through of the images, but just before I do that, for the people or the audience that's arrived, if you could just make sure that cell phones, etc. are turned off so we don't have any interruptions on that side of things. Okay, now the run through of the imagery. Okay, brilliant. Rightio, so just get a couple of bits of paper from... Oh, you have to write your name on it. Right, okay. Rightio, just while we sort out a couple of little technical things, we've got some amazing judges here today. We'll, at some point in time through the session, do some introductions. We've already had a few whilst waiting. So we're going to get some new our judges for the first part, we are going to have Mika, Mike Langford, Rachel Smith, Glenn Howie, and Matt Palmer. And whilst they come and get themselves all sorted out, I'll just give you the category descriptor. It's pretty short because it's quite open and allows a lot of interpretation. Just as a reminder, it's sponsored by our sponsors Nikon, and the photographs in the category open section may be interpretive, representative, and or literal of a real landscape. So it's pretty open. It allows for quite a bit of.
Can you read that again, please, Paul?
It's very short, but it's hold on. I'll just make it a bit bigger for my little old eyes. Photographs in the open land. Photographs in the landscape open section may be interpretive, representative, or a literal rendition of a real landscape. I may have skipped over a little bit of that. Yep, sorry.
And we don't agree, so it's going to be fun.
Okay. All right, our judges are ready. Everybody back there is ready. Okay, so I think we can have the first print, please. Should come up here, but then have you given this to me? They can put them directly in.
Mike's got a problem.
Come on. You okay there, Mike?
It's just not getting rid of that. That's all.
We wait in bated anticipation.
Thank you.
Okay, and we have a score of 82, which is a silver award. Okay, and we do have an elective challenge from Mika.
Yeah, I think,
What did you give it, please?
oh, I gave it an 86. I think we've probably all seen lots of really well done long exposures. I think this one is particularly well done. In particular, I'm very impressed by the subtlety of the moon and the layering of the distant mountains and the very subtle clouds in that central area. This print certainly rewards you for up-close viewing. From a distance also it's very impressive with that subtle vignette that just fades in from dark at bottom and top through to the central bright area. The detail on the boat is exquisite and I really encourage you to reconsider and come up and join me with a silver distinction.
Glenn?
Cool. I was down the other end. I was on 78. The reason I marked it there was it just felt too hyper-real for me. Everything was done to that nth degree, and it just felt a little uncomfortable because it was so surreal. I loved finding the moon, but again, it felt very placed and very perfect, and something about that feels quite unnatural, and I wanted to see something that was natural.
Mike, you're in around the average there.
Yeah, look, Mika, I think you've nailed it. I'm going to join you as a distinction, mainly because of what Glenn said, which is it's too perfect.
Okay, it looks like everybody's happy. Mika, would you like to wrap it up?
Yeah, in terms of the perfection, I think long exposures lend themselves to that perfect scenario, and I think that the central placement of the boat would be a little too perfect were it not for that the insertion of the moon, which I think really enhances this image and takes it to the next level. So I encourage you to join me on Civil Distinction.
Okay, if we can rejudge, please. Okay, good talking. That's an 85 silver distinction. Okay, congratulations. Okay, and if we can have the next print, please. Okay, we have a score of 75, a bronze award, and very even scoring across the range. Congratulations. Okay, and Glenn, you'd like to just say something to the author?
Yeah, look, the image works really well for mood and atmosphere, it's dramatic as, but what I...
Glenn, to
My
the,
apologies, I'll speak to the mic. And so it works really well from a mood and atmosphere point of view, but it's really tightly composed and feels a little awkward because of that tight composition.
okay, great. Thank you very much. Next image, please. Okay, we have a score of 76, which is a bronze award, and very even scoring across the range once again. And I'm looking for somebody, Mike, you would like to?
Yeah, I think if they'd corrected the perspective on this, it would have actually taken it higher.
Okay, great. Thank you for that, Mike. All right, can we have the next image, please? Okay, and we have a score of 76, which is a bronze award. And again, remarkably even numbers across the board. Once again, yeah, Mika?
I think this is printed really well. I really enjoy the tonality of this image. I think in terms of improvement, I think perhaps there's a little bit too much sky at the top, and that takes away a little from the drama of the mountain.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. And next photo, please. Next print, please. Okay, we have a score of 80, which is a silver award. We do have an elective challenge from Mika.
Yeah, I really am impressed by the composition of this image. You've got it's high key, but the placement of the three main elements I think is really beautiful. The detail is there. I do like the movement of the bird. The wing, I think, is the exact correct amount of movement there. It's very subtle, it's very delicate, it's very beautiful, and I think it's worthy of a silver with distinction. I'm on 89.
Matt?
Yeah, I was probably on the other end. There were elements that I really enjoyed, as well as the high key finish to it. I felt like the construction of the images, the different elements, was a little bit loose, but one thing I did appreciate was the mirroring of the texture of the twigs at the top with the actual landscape that the person's walking on. But I did feel like perhaps the shadow of the person walking isn't quite matching the stance of the actual figure. So there are a few little tweaks like that that held me back.
Okay, Glenn, have you got anything to add?
Actually, not especially, no. It's
Okay,
been well said
all right,
so
no,
far.
that's
I'm
fair
right
enough.
in the middle
No.
there. I'm an 84.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
Right in the middle.
Okay. Mike, were you?
Yeah, look, I think I can add something. I gave it 74, and I feel, given that you can do whatever you like in here, I just feel that the crop's too tight. I feel I'm conflicted between what the subject of the image is, between the three elements in the background. I'm just finding that it's too tight for me, and I need more space for something this dramatic to happen in. So.
Okay, Mika?
Yeah, I'll address a couple of those things. I think the shadow, I agree with you there, Matt. I think the shadow is perhaps a little short for the perspective that we're viewing. But I actually like the closeness of it. I think with a scene like this, you can get lost in it. And I think this keeps it intimate. And those elements are quite intimate. You know, the delicacy of the branch and the bird and the beautiful detail on the figure. I do think it's worthy of some additional points, so perhaps find it in yourselves to be a bit more generous for this print.
Okay, judges, can we rescore, please? Okay, we've solidified the silver with 82. Okay, congratulations. Okay. Alrighty, can we have the next print, please? Okay, and we have an award of bronze award at 75. Okay. Can we get a comment from somebody? Rachel?
Yeah, I find the palette really, really enjoyable. Adds to the mood and the emotion within the scene. And I think as far as improvement goes, the way the land sort of cuts off quite abruptly on the right, left-hand side, maybe a slightly different crop would help with that.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Okay. Can we have the next print, please? Okay, and we have a score of 76, which is a bronze award. Okay. Rachel, you've got the opportunity to challenge that.
Yeah, I'll talk to this one. So I scored at 83. I've really powerful and emotive sky. I love a good sky, so I guess that's really working for me. But the way that the composition and the pier just leads you straight in, and the textures and details in it are really, really gorgeous. It's a good solid silver.
Matt.
Yeah, I scored it in high professional standard. I feel like coming back to this location at a different time or in a different environment where there's a bit more separation between the edge of the pier and the hills at the back of the water would have helped improve it. I think, judged by the on-screen, which we're not judging by, but there might be a little ship or something like that at the end of the pier, but we can't see that in the print because the dark colours are kind of muddying together a little bit. So yeah, potentially different time of day where you get separation and look at the dark tones.
Okay. Mike, would you like to say something?
Yeah, just to add a couple of things. The vignettes are really heavy-handed and is distracting, but also the lack of detail in the background hills is also distracting.
Okay. Mika, would you?
I'll just also point out that my eye is drawn to the brightness at the top of the image, and I think given how heavy the vignette is, you would expect that if your eye is drawn to that point that there would be a reason for it, and I can't see a reason for that.
Okay, Rachel, write a reply.
Yeah, you guys are going to make this hard. I don't really have any counter for those points. I didn't actually notice the ship that Matt referred to, so I guess that sort of says a lot. I still find the texture and the detail in the pier really compelling, and the leading line through there. So.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Can we have a rescore, please? Okay, it's just brought it up to 77, which is a bronze award. Well done. We just have a blank screen for a moment, and we're just going to have a quick judge change. No reflection on just trying to talk that one up, Rachel. But if you want to just take a break for a moment, and we're going to bring on Jackie Rankin. Thank you very much. We'll just wait for Jackie to find her tab. All good? Okay, so can we have the next image, please? Okay, and we have a score of 85, which is a silver distinction. And very even scoring across the range. So, anybody want to have a word just to the photographer about this? I'm just going to pick. Oh, let's pick Jackie. She leaned forward.
Okay, yes, I leaned forward. I scored at 86 into that range. It has a elemental, superior sort of feeling of light that's balanced perfectly with the nets down below on the lake. Really simple and clean, and there's just one little bird in there. I guess it adds another little element. Well done.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Can we have the next image, please? And we're waiting for. Okay, we have a score of 72, which is a professional standard. All right. And Matt would like. Oh, Mike. Sorry, you wanted to. Somebody has to.
No, just
Matt?
comment.
Yep, Matt.
Yeah, the photographers created an interesting composition with the staggered seagulls. They all have different poses and shapes, which is fantastic. Had there been a bit more sharpness in the face of the gull that's looking towards the camera, that would have helped lift it. And also just look at those highlight details.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. Can we have the next image, please? Okay, we have a score of 75, a bronze award, once again with very even scoring across the board. So I'll just pick a name, Glenn.
The soft, subtle colour palette's pretty damn spectacular. Detail's amazing, but I do find that cloud on the left to be very close to the edge of that border, and there's a subtle muddiness to it overall that I don't enjoy as well.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. And next image, please. Okay, and we have a score of 80, which is a silver award. Okay, very good. And Jackie was sort of nodding as she. Did you want?
No, just a comment, that's all.
Yeah, that's all I want.
All right.
Yep.
So I scored at 83, and I thought I might have been out on a bit of a limb, but I think a lot of really good choices have been made by the photographer and in the design of this composite, and all the little elements coming together. The colours are superb. Well deserved at 83.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Well done. Okay. Can we have the next print, please? Okay, and we have a score of 77, a bronze award. Alrighty, so congratulations to the. And I'll just pick another name. Oh, Glenn. Glenn's sort of volunteering.
Really enjoyed the overall impact to this photograph. It's bold, it's powerful. The only distraction for me was almost too much detail in through the foreground. It took me away from where I wanted my eye to rest, but overall, powerful. Well done.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Can we have a blank screen, please? We're just going to do a quick judge change. Okay. And Mika, you can take a break. And Rebecca, can you come on in? Welcome, Rebecca. I thought the descriptor for the category was a bit light. It was. It was like about half a dozen lines light. Okay. If you remember from the original, I won't go through that. But entries may be commissioned or self-commissioned. Entry may be presented as triptychs or series. Aerial images are permitted, including taken from equipment such as drones, aircraft, helicopters, and even hot air balloons, believe it or not. Except where specified, permitted entries must comply with all the rules. Oh, okay, we don't need that bit. Okay. Right, so, can we have the next image, please? Okay, Rebecca, can you jump off, please? And Jace, do you want to jump up there? Why not? Just for you're just Rebecca for a moment.
There was a problem.
You right there, Jace?
Struggling. There we go.
No.
Oh, fuck. I did this. Oh, who let me loose? Sorry.
Okay. we have a score of 77, which is a bronze award. Okay. And Matt would like to just speak to the author of that photo.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting character study of whatever's plants. It could be interpreted as caverns or all kinds of things, but it could be lifted quite considerably if they had found the opposite angles naturally within that space rather than using the mirroring.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Excellent. Okay. Jace, you can jump off now. Thank you. And next print, please. Okay, we have a score of 81, which is a silver award. Okay, Mike, you have an elective challenge there.
I gave this 87. I see this as a very original piece of seeing. The key of the image being so dark has actually given it some mystery, and finding the little lights in there give the colour a real ping. I just see it as a superior piece of visual communication.
Okay, great, thank you. And, sorry, I was just dealing with something over here. Jackie, you're at the other side.
So, yeah, I scored at 78. I was on the cusp of thinking going into silver, so I'm listening, Mike. Really unusual weather is what I came across. You know, being in the right place for some amazing weather like this is a landscape photographer's dream, and then interpreting in this way, dark. Yeah, it's got potential there. I'm hearing it and feeling it. So keep talking, and I'll maybe listen to one other.
Glenn? Oh, sorry. Well, I thought you eyeballed me.
I certainly can, no problem at all. Actually, I'm with you, Mike. I was there at 82 to start with, and I'm going to come up a level for sure, mainly because I like the combination of that stark, cool, dark, brooding background, and just those pings of light really work well. The thing that held me back initially was the foreground. I found a little dominant. There's lovely stuff going on with the key subject, so hey, silver with distinction. Good call, Mike.
I'll let Matt have go. He's jumping out at me.
Yeah, for me, this had the impact of a gold image, but when I went closer, it was kind of lacking detail in that foreground, which is quite heavy. And I also felt like the pagodas in the background didn't quite have the same detail or finesse as the foreground pagoda. So I was in the silver range, and I'm kind of happy there, but I'm also listening.
Okay, Mike, I think it's back to you.
Yeah, my first indication emotionally was gold as well. I didn't go there because, actually, I'm not sure why I didn't go there, to be honest, because it's very unique, and that's one of the curses for giving gold. The foreground being black, sorry, I'm just talking against myself at the moment because I'm suggesting you should go gold. The foreground being black leads your eye into the background, and if there was detail in the foreground, you would be confusing what's happening with the buildings in the background. The atmosphere here is absolutely superlative in terms of I have never seen it captured like this at this time of the day in this manner, and the uniqueness of the image does say the word gold to me. So I got it wrong. I suggest that you could get it right.
Can we rescore, please, judges? Okay, so we got it to 85, silver distinction. Okay, thank you very much. Can we have the next image, please? all right. Okay, we have a score of 78, which is a bronze award. Okay, excellent. Okay, can we have somebody, Glenn? You're nodding at me again.
I really enjoyed the first image. It's powerful, it's dramatic. There was lots of good things going on. I felt the three below it were less so, and that drew sort of the overall impression dropped because of that. But there's a really good idea in here. Well done.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Okay. Can we have the next image, please? Okay, we have a score of 75, a bronze award. Congratulations. Very even numbers across the board. Can I just pick a name? Oh, Mike's got his hand up. Yep.
Yeah, would be improved if there was some more detail on the white sky above the house. It's just pure white on there. On the print, I can see some more on the screen, but we're judging the print.
Yep. Great. Thank you very much. Can we just have a blank screen? We're just going to have a quick judge change. Give another judge a bit of a break. Glenn, I think you're going to take some time. And Alan? Okay. Alrighty, just while Alan's getting himself organised, just wanted to put a plug for Nikon, the generous sponsors of not only the awards but also the category. So thank you very much to our friends in Nikon land. Okay. And how are we going, Alan?
Searching.
Searching. Okay. Bit of co-judge cooperation going on here. Finding.
Got it.
There we go. Okay. So, can we have the next? Whoop. Yep. Next image, please. Okay, and we have a score of 77, bronze award, with very even scoring across the board once again. So I'm just going to pick a name, and Matt, would you like to just say something?
Yeah, I feel like the golden glow on the image is a little bit dominant, and I'm seeing the screen, which I'm not judging, and it actually has better tonal separation because the hut is the warm object in the digital version, whereas the rest of the background is a bit cooler, and then it draws us into that warmth and shelter of that place. But overall, I think it's very well composed and a lovely image.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. Okay, can we have the next image, please? Okay, we have a score of 73, professional standard. And Mike, you would like to challenge this?
Yeah, I gave this 82. I found it quite refreshing and original. As a piece of seeing, it's certainly not your average landscape, and just using the graphic elements in there have made it really bold statement. Find it very strong.
Okay. Matt, would you like to?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what the story is of this image. I feel like it might be somebody that's weather chasing or monitoring the weather in some way, and that's why they're showing us the sky. But I feel like there could have been potentially a better composition using the graphical elements of the car and the dish that might have been stronger graphically, since it's such a simple image.
Okay. We've got a lot of in the average. Rebecca?
I really enjoy the graphic nature of the image, but I find the aerials really distracting. I also think that it could have a bit more punch in the whites and the black, just to bring that drama out a little bit more. I scored it 73, high professional standard. I think it could have more story to it, but I'm not seeing it at the moment.
Okay, Alan, quickly.
Quickly, I think this is an open category that the text, the rise, the fonts, is very distracting to me.
Okay. Mike, back to you.
Yeah, just briefly. Look, all the elements that you've noted are all the things that I actually praise it for, and that's our difference. So we'll just leave it there.
Okay, judges, if you could please rescore. Okay, okay, that is 74, professional standard. Thank you very much. Okay, can we have the next image, please?
Sorry, I just had an IT issue. What on earth is that doing? Chrome. So my spreadsheet just closed.
Just need to reopen that if you can find that
Oh,
easily.
Here we go.
Yep.
Right.
Okay, we have a score of 69, professional standard. Okay, and just looking for somebody to talk to that. Matt, put his hand up first.
Yeah, I applaud the photographer for experimenting and using motion to create something quite original. However, I'm struggling a little bit with finding the message or the story that this image is trying to tell. And I'm also being drawn to the bottom left and the top right, where there's the darker green tones.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Can we have a blank screen for a moment? We're just going to give another judge a break. Yes, that is you, Mike. So, and Dan, come on in. So,
what do I do?
all right. So, and are we good? Oh. Need some elevated music whilst the technology is being worked out. Okay. Excellent. We are there. Okay. So, can we have the next image, please? Okay, we have initial score there of 79. Okay, with a little bit of a spread, and yeah, actually somebody else is a little bit higher than you. But Dan, do you want to have a talk this one?
Right, in at the deep end, eh?
Yeah.
This is a very strong image. I particularly like the flower in the bottom right-hand corner, just as a little detail. It could be distracting, but I find it gives it character. I like the feeling that something great has just come in from the heavens. It's a strong, strong picture, and I scored at 85.
Alan, yeah, you're in the pack. Yep.
I scored it 77. I enjoyed that flower. I enjoyed the whole picture. It's actually it's very quiet, and it has this very beautiful, warm tones. And there's light coming from above. I was distracted with the vignetting. I thought it was slightly heavy.
Jackie, I'd like to hear from you, maybe.
So yeah, I was on 73 because of that. Well, that heavy vignette and the actual distraction of the flower. I'm not sure how it's helping that story. It could have been taken out, but also maybe that hard edge of the reflection that's happening in that lake. It's very carefully positioned there. I understand that, but I think it's taking away from the impact of that dramatic cloud above. And so if I cut off the whole bottom of that image and just use the top, I'm there.
Rebecca, did you have anything to add?
For those reasons, the little daisy flower at the bottom, I think, adds this delicate point there. When something so powerful is coming down from above, you have this tiny little delicate element at the bottom that makes you think the opposite. I think that's been well put together, if that's how it has been. The heavy vignette does bring it down a little bit there, but I think it's been handled very well. The print, it's been printed beautifully. The detail in the mountain is exquisite, and the colour palette is gorgeous. So I scored it 81. I think it deserves it.
Okay, back to you, Dan, and then.
I hear your comments, and I still feel the strength of the light from above. The light from above allows me to. It gives it much more three-dimensional of a three-dimensional feel with that vignette, and I think that we've got a very strong image. It makes me feel. I feel it inside this picture.
Okay, judges, can we rescore, please?
So it's 79 or 80.
Yeah. Oh, you can.
79 or 80.
No, it's a rejudge.
Was it a 79?
It's a challenge.
Yeah, it was 79.
So it's
Yeah, it's
Oh, okay.
It's not a
So
review.
So we can do anything.
yeah, you can do. Yeah, you've had a conversation about it. Who are we waiting on? Dan. Right. Okay, all the talking has done it some good, and it's up to 80 and a silver award. Okay, and we're just going to do another another judge change. Matt, you can take a break, and oh, sorry, blank screen. But and Jason, if you just jump in, please.
Am I in for real now? Do I have to
Hey,
change my
no,
name?
yeah, you're in for real. You can use your real name.
Where do I change my name? Oh, down there. Oh, I have to go find myself.
Just letting you know when they have a challenge, the initial challenger gets a right of reply at the end, and that's what's happening when that goes back to that the person that made the challenge.
I found myself.
You found yourself? I'm sure there's a song about that. Okay. All right. Are we all good?
Yeah.
Okay. So next print, please. What are we waiting on? Okay, we have a score of 73, professional standard. And so, can we have a comment from somebody? Jackie?
Yeah. It quite intriguing, the really dark and the light, and there's an emotional impact in that, but we just can't see enough for me that's coming out of those blacks. And the softness is obviously, hopefully, was meant to be there, but just show us a little bit more.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for that. Can we have the next print, please? Okay, and we have a score of 75. That's a bronze award. And with fairly even scoring across the numbers. Alan, do you want to just say something to the author?
Yeah, it's an interesting arc, that Milky Way. I think it could have scored higher without those distracting elements, the lights on the right.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. Can we have the next print, please? Okay, and we have a score of 83, silver award. Very tight scoring across the numbers. So I'm just going to pick one, Jackie.
So, yeah, I scored at 83. Beautifully seen and composed. The idea is great. Perhaps it could have gone even higher if it has a sense of being over-sharpened. So pull back on that a little bit. I think I would have scored it higher.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, and congratulations to the photographer. Okay, can we have the next print, please? Oh, yep, okay. Glenn, can you jump up there? Okay, we have a score of 76, a bronze award. Okay. Who shall I pick? Alan? Just
Yeah, beautiful. I really enjoyed the whole composition. I think it's slightly warm, maybe a little bit slightly less of that brown tones. Maybe would lift the fade.
okay, great. Thank you very much. Okay, if Jace can just jump back on, and thank you, Glenn. If we can have the next image, please. Okay, we have a score of 74, professional standard. Okay, and Rebecca, would you like to say something to the author?
The layers in the hills are beautiful. I just think it would be lifted more if it wasn't handled so heavily. If the sepia tone, I think, if it was in black and white or even colour, would have lifted it. Also, my eye has nowhere to rest. It moves around and doesn't settle. So if there was one element that held my eye, I think that would lift it also.
Okay, great. Good feedback. Thank you very much. Okay, can we have the next print, please? Ooh.
Sorry. Sorry.
Bit of number dyslexia there. Okay, we have a score of 79, a bronze award. Okay. And, yep, Dan, you elective challenge. You're quite a bit further up there.
This is a strong picture and a very three-dimensional feel to it. And I can't quite make out how they've done it and what it is about. Maybe I'm not seeing it in the same way, but really sort of resonates with me, and I feel I've marked it at 85.
Jackie.
I scored this 73, and the reason being because I was just seeing a little bit more just technique, a moving camera against some trees perhaps, or something light, and then flipped over, and I think it was a flip that mostly let me down, because I keep seeing that reflection and can't see a reason for it. I was disappointed, I guess, because of that.
Alan?
I actually agree with Jackie. I scored it 82, but the repetition is what held me back. The symmetry.
Okay. Jace, are you just eyeing me, or are you?
I'm thinking. Look, I don't think I just think the paper choice let it down as well. It's flat paper, and to me it looks like it's got a metallic feel, but it's at odds.
Okay. Sounds like it's back to you, Dan, for a right of reply.
All right. I like the picture, strong picture, and there's great depth to it, and whatever technique has been used, it could be a little bit clumsy, but it's still something I would put on my wall.
Okay, great. If you could re-score, please, judges.
Is it a review or a challenge?
We wait. Okay, and the talking has brought it up to 80, silver award. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so can we have the next image, please? Okay, we have a score of 75. That's a bronze award. And Jackie, you've got the right of...
I'll challenge this at 83. I think it's got really just essential elements of Central Otago kind of feel to it. A cameo of a bursting cloud, really lovely contrasting texture of that movement of the cloud over a long exposure. Yeah, the foreground is sharp, maybe it's not long exposure, but the clouds rippling through that background of the mountains. The three elements coming together, I think they've come together in a very strong way and presented beautifully.
Rebecca, you're down the other end there. Would you like to say something?
The colour palette's beautiful and it's very golden, but the mountain, the hill in the background, for me feels soft, and that's where I want it to be sharp, and I want to see the detail and all the shadows and all the highlights, and I want that to be the place that I rest. And for me, it just feels a bit muddy there. Yeah.
Can we pry anything out of you, Jace?
Yeah, I think the circular choice was very deliberate and potentially has let it down a little because of the cloud sort of crashing into the top right. And I think the peak is the hero and is underlit. It's in the shadow, and if the peak was in light and that light play on the hillside was nice, would support that rather than the peak receding a little bit into the distance. And that might bring it up, but I'm glad to see it receive I was 78, I'm glad to see it receive a bronze.
Okay, Jackie.
Cool. Yeah, perhaps it's a long exposure that's made that feel that the mountain in the middle has got softness because the shadows have been moving as well. But I don't think that's the subject. I think the subject was the contrasting nature of the bursting cloud and that wonderful grass, yellowing grass in the foreground. Yeah.
Okay, can we rescore, please, judges? Okay, it's brought it up a couple of points. 77, Bronze Award. Great. Okay, next image, please. Okay, we have an award of, a score, sorry, of 85, which is a silver distinction. Okay, some pretty good numbers across the board there. So I'm just going to go for, let's go, oh, Alan's got his hand up. Yep.
Yeah, I love this photo. What's impact here is the trees, how they wither away with the wind, and the clouds above, just making this such an awesome. Yeah, all power to the photographer.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Congratulations to the photographer. Can we have a blank screen? We're just going to give somebody a break. Rebecca, if you can jump down. Rachel, if you can come up, please. Okay, and
It's highlighted, so
I know because you're into it. It's going to be. I'm helping you. Oh, don't you? If I'm not here, Jackie's going to jump in your throat and fix everything. Just kill the numbers.
okay. Sorry, just a couple of technical details going on here. Are you good, Rachel?
No, I can't.
Do you want your name?
No, I've got my name.
Oh,
it'd be great if somebody took a picture of that and submitted it.
Oh,
Yeah, it's very nice.
Have they?
Just a full edge map of just the
Okay.
grey.
I think I've seen something.
No, it's previous. It's something else.
Sorry,
It's,
that's all my fault.
With a finger coming through the little
I
gap.
have a different. Now it's help.
Okay. Right. Next print, please. Sorry, we had an operator error. Okay, we have a score of 75. That's a bronze award, and we got fairly close. We'll accept that. It's fairly close scoring across the board. I'll go to Jackie. Let's go to Jackie.
Yeah. Oh, well, to bring this up into the next scoring range, maybe it has to be something extraordinary happening. It's a beautiful landscape, well composed, and the colour's great. I scored it 78, and well done.
Yep. Okay. Great. Thank you for that, Jackie. Okay. So, can we have the next print, please? Okay, we have a score of 80, which is a silver award. Okay. Once again, pretty even numbers across the board there. Shall we go with, say, Jace? You're on the average. Oh, just
I felt a little bit lost for a while. I can see what has been attempted, and it's a good concept. It's a nice idea. It's a little bit maybe let down by execution in terms of some of the blending is a bit clumsy, and tonally it's a bit stunted maybe. Yeah, I gave it a silver. We're not having a thing.
No, not having a discussion, just having comments.
Okay,
to the,
I'm done. Okay.
Yep. Okay, thank you very much. I'm sure the photographer is very happy with the score. Okay, can we have the next print, please? Okay, we have a score of 80, which is a silver award. Okay. All right, and Rachel, you're sort of like in the silver area there. Like to just say something?
Yeah, I scored this one 82. Absolutely beautiful detail in the lower portion of the frame, but I found the highlights, the brightness in the middle, pulled my eye away from all of that lovely texture and colour, so that I was really happy with it sitting at a silver.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Okay. We have the next print, please. Okay, we have a score of 72, which is a professional standard. And just looking for somebody to, yep, Jackie?
Yeah. Compositionally, it's kind of it's got a nice diagonal coming through it and good blacks and whites, but it's really the shapes that are merging together and that are cluttering it up and not letting this image sort of sing and communicate in a strong way.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Jackie. All right. Can we have the next print, please? Okay, we have a score of 84, which is a silver award. Okay, and who's in the middle there? Jackie. Sorry,
You'd
I
like me to
keep picking
comment
on
on
you.
this one?
Hey, yeah, just
Yes, a comment.
just a few words.
Yeah, it's a superior print and really well composed and dynamic, and a little chip on the end of the lines. I just got a sense of I've seen it before a little bit, the technique and the yellowy tones in those piers. Just could have been a little bit more contrast perhaps, but yeah, great.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for that. We'll just have a blank screen for a moment. We're going to do a judge change. Glenn, Glenn, you're back. Jace, Glenn, do a bit of a swap there. If you need to go and grab some lunch, now would be the time to do that. And it's not here yet. Crikey duck. And there was also yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay, can we have the next print, please? Okay, we have a score of 76, which is a bronze award. Okay. And Dan, would you like to just say something, sort of like in the middle there?
Nicely positioned atmospheric picture of the sea with some weather happening. It looks great on the big screen.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Can we have the next print, please? Okay, and we have a score of 80, which is a silver award. Okay. And I'll just pick Rachel. She's looking at me, and she's in the silver range there.
Yeah, I scored this one 82. It's a really lovely journey. It's a really nicely executed technique, interesting and calming palette, and yeah, find it easy silver.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. All right, can we have the next print, please? Okay, we have a score of 71, professional standard. And I'll just look along the line. Alan, we haven't heard from you
You
just
haven't?
mention something to the photographer?
It's a strong composition. I really love that structure and how it's composed at the bottom and those clouds striking away. I think it would have gone higher had the composition where the roof merges into the sky would have been resolved slightly in more finesse way.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. All right, can we have the next image, please? Okay, we have a score of 76, which is a bronze award. Congratulations. And Rachel, you're right on the average there.
Yep. I really enjoy the detail and the journey in the lighter part of the image in the mountains, but I found the bottom third, the heaviness of that distracted me away from the journey that I was going on up the top.
Okay, thank you very much. Can we just have a blank screen for a moment? And sorry, Rachel, we have to just throw you off for a bit. Have another break. And Mika, if you could come on, please. Yeah, and so can we do Jackie for Mike? Yep. Okay. Are we all logged on, ready to go?
I'm on my screen.
Yeah, that's okay. Yep. Sorry. Yep, sorry. Yeah, no, it's now you should be able to.
there
You
we
be
go.
fine now.
Okay.
Yep. That was my fault.
No worries.
Apologies. Okay, so can we have the next print, please?
Tell you.
Try clicking on the background. Can you just change on that?
Oh, sorry, Mike, you got a problem?
Yeah.
IT issues.
IT
We need
issues?
an IT specialist.
We need an IT specialist. Is it?
Someone that's brighter than the pair of us. So just a teenager, anything really.
Looks like Alan is onto it.
Yep.
Thank you, Ella.
Beauty. Okay.
Must be high.
Okay.
Right.
We have a score of 81, which is a silver award. Okay. Alan, you've got the elective challenge there?
I'm competing with the rain.
Yes.
Fight the good fight.
I gave this image 90 gold.
No, you didn't.
I haven't seen anything like that. I think these are apartment buildings but obviously it's very technical. But there's so much to see it. You can look at every balcony, you can see windows, you can see open shades, you can see curtains. The whole thing speaks about geometry, and it's like feast to the eyes. 90.
Correction, I have you down as an 88.
Well, I put it 90. I fixed it, and then, so I would have scored it 90 had you been slower. I encourage you to go 90. It's the system glitch.
All right, Glenn.
Yeah, look, I'm down the bottom there with this. I got kind of lost in its graphics, and I felt quite overwhelmed by it, and I wasn't rewarded when I looked into the images, and I wanted to see what was going on in all of those apartments, and I just wasn't as rewarded as I wanted to be. My mark of 72 may be a little bit grinchy. The mark of 90 is bold and courageous. Talk to me some more.
Mika, you're up the top in there.
Yeah, I've scored this 85. I really like the graphic nature. I think because there's elements there that are repeated, but they've been done so subtly that you really, really have to push yourself to find it. I think it's been really superbly put together, superbly crafted. I really like the darkness in the top right and bottom left that kind of off balances it a little and prevents it from being static. It gives it that dynamism. I'm quite happy with where I am, but I'm definitely listening.
Okay, Mike. Yep.
Yeah, I'll give it a comment. I gave it 81, which I thought was generous because all I saw was the graphic elements. I didn't see the extra little ping that a gold needs. Definitely didn't see that, but I did see strong graphics, and I've rewarded that.
Okay, Alan, back to you.
Yeah, it's a bit of a stretch. I think it's fantastic. I mean, the graphical elements, I hear superb, I hear graphical, I hear geometry, I mean, I've never seen anything like that. So, as some of you mentioned, these are completely different. So every one of those little rectangles is slightly different, and to create something like that and execute it to such a beautiful pattern, I think at least a silver distinction.
Alrighty, so let's rescore their judges, please. Okay, that's brought it up to 82, silver award. Okay. Can we have the next print, please? Okay, we have a score of 77. That's a bronze award. And that is very tight numbers across the board. I'll just take somebody from Mike. You're in the middle there.
Yeah, I found it very technique driven, unfortunately. It's all about that softness and the overlaying, and there's nothing really to focus on, or there's nothing solid.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. And I think we're going to a blank screen just for a moment whilst we move a couple of judges around. Right, so Alan and Matt, if you could do a bit of a swap, and Don and Rachel. Dan, sorry.
It's about
The piece of paper is a long way away. Rachel. Yep, yep. If you go up for Dan.
one of them needed to be stronger than the others.
Hey?
Yeah. You do
Oh,
need
no,
to
no,
slow
no.
that one on just to dominate.
I have to change it anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I believe lunch is out the back there for the judges now. It's
See
arrived.
you later.
But you can't leave now.
You're okay with it?
Oh, yeah, yeah, you guys that are going, go. Yep, yep. Just, our panel, though, you can't leave. Right, are we ready? Okay, can we have the next print, please? Okay, we have a score of 86, silver distinction. Okay. Fairly tight numbers. Let's just take Mika's looking right at me.
Yeah, I really enjoy the twist, if you'll excuse the pun, on a very classic landscape icon, which is the lone tree. The sky really adds some drama to this. The detail is fantastic. The fence on the left adds that little bit of asymmetrical enjoyability to this, and I think it's been really well crafted. I think the photographer should definitely be happy with this result. The print quality is excellent also.
Okay, great. Good feedback. Thank you very much. Okay, can we have the next print, please? Okay, we have an average of 76, which is a bronze award. And okay, I'll just pick Matt. Yeah, go.
Yeah, I think it would have done much better had there been more detail in the blacks. It's just blocking up in there, and the detail is there, but we can't see it.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Excellent. Okay. Can we have the next print, please? Okay, we have a score of 77, which is a bronze award. Yep. Okay. And who's sort of like in the middle? Oh, Rachel's right in the middle there.
Yeah, I really enjoy the detail and texture and the originality of the image. The lines in the sky and that top third pull me away from all of the things that I was enjoying, though.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, judges. Can I just have from the judges who hasn't actually had lunch so we can sort of like manage that? Okay, that's everybody.
You guys take lunch, I'll cover it.
All right, we'll try and rotate that through as quickly as we can. Okay.
We can wait for dinner if you like.
Can we have the next print, please?
Go ahead.
Yeah, you do. Sort soon. Yeah. Okay, we have a score of 73, professional standard. And Mika, yeah, you've got an elective challenge there. You can certainly talk to us.
Yeah, I see a recumbent figure in the centre there. There's a figure looking to the left with the knees up, reclined in a beautiful place, enjoying the magic of what's happening in the sky. I really like the way that this figure is enjoying the space. Perhaps it's not as clear close up, but certainly from a distance, I clearly see this figure, and for that reason, I think it's worthy of a higher standing because of the fact that the photographer has seen this. The head is positioned in the V of the mountains. I think there are a few things that I would change in terms of the brightness at some of the edges of the image, but I think that for its creativity and uniqueness, I think it needs to be rewarded. So I'm giving it a 79, and a few extra points from here, there, and everywhere might help this photographer with this print.
Mike, you're in the middle there.
I'm at the lower end. I think it's 72.
sorry.
I'm sorry, but
Yep.
yeah. Look, the more sculptural type element is definitely there if you look for it, but you have to fight for it because of the print quality, which is underwhelming.
Matt?
Yeah, I also saw the figure in the centre. However, I felt like the vignette was a little bit too dark and the centre was a little too bright. So if it had been balanced a little bit more tonally, I would be higher into bronze, but I've just crept over the line as it is.
Okay. Sounds like it's back to you, Mika.
Yeah, I just think that in the landscape it's difficult to find scenes like this. I recognise that there are some technical issues, and that's why I wasn't aiming for an even higher score. But I do think that the photographer needs to be rewarded for seeing this and executing it really well.
Okay, judges, if you can please rescore. Okay, so that's brought it up to a bronze at 75. Okay. And can we have the next print, please? Okay, we have a score of 73, and that's professional standard. And Matt, you were right on that average, so yep.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting collection of images here. A little bit of work in the curation and taking the images in a very consistent way and viewpoint would have helped improve it, as well as potentially having included some of the characters that are in these areas, or even documenting the creation of the artwork itself.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for that. Can we have the next print, please? Okay, we have a score of 73. That's professional standard. Okay, and Glenn will say something to the image.
Yeah, for me, the difference between the print and what's on the screen is massive, and also it's quite tight to the top, and that also lets it down. There was an image there, hasn't quite been found.
Okay, thank you very much. Just as a reminder, though, we are judging the print. The screen is just by and by. Okay, so we are going to just have a blank screen. We're going to try and start navigating this lunch break. So first of all, and also a few exclusions. So first of all,
Beauty.
hey.
So I can wait.
So Matt, can you jump out, and Jace, can you go in for Matt? Okay, and we'll be doing another one very shortly. Okay, so please eat quickly.
Maybe we're just beautiful.
All right. Are we ready to go? Okay.
I'll go and get you some.
Are you on last legs there, Mike?
No, I'm okay.
She could get something.
I had it surplus fat.
Stand by. We'll see what we can do for you. Okay. Next print, please. Okay, we have a score of 88, silver distinction. But Rachel would like to challenge.
Yeah, I scored this 92. I looked at it from a distance, really enjoyed the balance and the tonality throughout the image. And then when I got up close and I saw the dog and the cat, just little nuggets that pushed it that bit further for me, and also added to the story. The dog chased the cat up the tree. It just it takes away from the beautiful balance and draws your eye into the scene. And so I went 92 gold.
Okay, Mike?
Yeah, I agree with everything you say, which is wonderful. But I actually found that the cleverness of the mat, not the matting, but the edge of the print and the way it falls off to the side has become distracting. And it happens all the way around that image. And if it wasn't there, it would be much stronger for me. That's just how I feel about it.
Okay, Mika, you're right in the middle there.
I'd actually like to talk to that because that fade off for me makes me think of like a cathedral or, more than just a window, because the oval shape already gives that window impression. But to me, it's like an homage. That nostalgia comes through because of that fading edge. I actually really appreciate that, and I find that very different to what I usually, am used to seeing. I quite enjoy that fade off. I also want to say, I really like the detail in the trees, just exquisite. For me, the only drawback really is there's a bright area in the middle that there's a slightly lighter tone than the surrounding area, and I don't think it's necessary, and I find it slightly distracting.
Jace, you're enthusiastic to have a word?
I was a chicken. I scored at 88, and I'm going to come up because the one thing that held me back, Mike, was exactly what you said. That beveled glass concept has sold it for me. I've got those windows in my house. It makes perfect sense now. And I also love the detail. Now I'm repeating myself. Let's go gold.
Okay, so write a reply there, Rachel.
I can't really add anything more than Mika already has to the fall off and the shape. It didn't bother me whatsoever. It drew me in even more. And the other thing that I really enjoy is the slightly arrogant pose of the cat, which says it all really. The dog can't get there, and it just really, really works. And I think that we should reward all of those elements with a gold.
Okay, can we read score, please? Okay, good talking, good talking. That's a 91 gold award. I'm sure the author will be very happy about that. Okay, so thank you very much, judges. Just take a little breath. Okay, and no, we can't do it at the moment. Stand by. Okay, we're getting there for the lunch. Yep.
We're sorry, we've just got no one there.
Yep. Stand by. Can we have the next print, please? Okay, we have a score of 75. That's a bronze award. Fairly tight numbers across the board there. Oh, everybody's sort of like having a go. Glenn, first in.
Great location. That day was fantastic, but your treatment of it is just a little too heavy and really detracts from what is initially a great photograph.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Okay. And can we have the next print, please? Okay. We have a score of 79.
All right, guys.
Jason.
I'm on a different planet. Man, this
What was the score,
captivated me.
Jason?
My score was 92. This captivated me. I see a great deal of communication here in a really innovative way. I see a timeline. I see sort of segments of days spread across a graphic representation of the weather and the conditions and the light at those different times. I see, I don't even know what it's called, like a genome, like a DNA PCR test or whatever they are. We all talk about these things like we know what they mean in COVID times, but I see scientific results being presented. I see maybe climate change, and it all looks like a record of something, and I can't quite discern what the answer is or what it's telling me. I feel underqualified too, but there's information encoded in this, so I just went on a limb and rewarded it for that. Tell me why you don't like it.
Glenn?
Right, I was down there on 72. The graphics, I mean, 20-point spread. But don't we love these images? I mean, this is just fantastic. We get to talk about it. That's just fine. The reason I'm down there on 72 is I got lost in its design elements. It didn't feel resolved for me at all. And I hear what you're saying, Jace, about, you know, the things you searched for and found, and I didn't find those, and I struggle to even find them now. It's kind of like an intriguing play, but it doesn't communicate anything as an end result to me, and that's why I've marked it as low as I have at 72.
We've got multiple people. Mika first. Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the strips. It's almost like when you're a kid and you cut up magazines and you weave them together and make different images. And I think what we have here is different images of the ocean. At different times of day, I see that and I appreciate that. However, I find the vastness of the white, the overwhelmingness of the white to be a distraction, and it's alienating me from the landscape. I would like to have more connection with the landscape, because clearly this is an image that shows that the photographer is intimate with this landscape. The horizon that goes across the whole image, regardless of the strips, is consistent. You know, this photographer has clearly interacted closely with the landscape, but yeah, I feel distanced by all the white.
Okay, Rachel.
Yeah, I scored this one 75, and I really appreciate what Jay said about the genome sequencing and stuff like that. I didn't get that. I looked at it and I thought maybe barcode or litmus paper, some sort of acid test or something like that. The white, I agree with Mika that is quite heavy, but I think that thinking of barcodes, the different thicknesses of white, that's where I'm coming from, and I think it's sort of, I find that I understand it from that perspective. I think I would struggle to get up to gold, and the main thing that pulls it down for me is the fact that on the very, very right, I feel like that last line of imagery is actually cut off, whereas the rest of it seems much more balanced, and that was the reason that I kept it in the bronze range.
Okay, right, a reply there, Jace.
All right, here we go. You're not alienated from the landscape. You're abstracted from the landscape. The landscape is there. That's the raw data, but the white space is information, and it's presenting this. It's using the raw data of the landscape at the different times in different lights, and then encoding another layer of information on top of it. And less is more here. Less photo is more information, and it's cut off on the right because it keeps going, because this continues into time forever. So you can imagine a continuing study of this location that this person's very intimate with. I'm really attached to it. Maybe I'm crazy. It deserves at least a silver. Come on up.
Alrighty, let's rejudge or rescore. You brought some people up to a silver award, 84. Okay, good talking. Okay, one more image, Mike, and then you can go and have lunch. Don't worry, we haven't forgotten about you. Okay. Next image, please.
Wrong place.
Oh, wrong one. Sorry.
Who are we waiting on? Okay, we have a score of 72, professional standard. Okay, thank you very much for that. And can we have a comment from somebody? Glenn, you're in the middle. You're on the number.
I was there on 72.
Yep.
Hey, initial impact was strong, the bird on a wire, I quite liked that, but a lot of the technical control was missing. That background's turned to fudge, and there's a real hot spot in the middle.
Okay, thank you very much. Can we have a blank screen, please? And we're going to do a double judge change for some lunch. Mika, you can jump out, and Rebecca, can you come in, please? And Mike, go, Mike, go.
Thank you.
And Alan, who's looking well fed, can come in. Oh, we're at the
Good timing.
Yes. Thought you'd bring out dinner. Really
you can
hungry.
if you need to run, you've got about 2 minutes.
Nah, that's all right. I'm teasing.
Yep. All right. Okay, so we're just doing the.
Hearing you.
Sorry, I forgot to push go.
Can you,
Yep.
was I on the right track?
Sorry.
Totally.
So for those of you that are online, what's happening at the moment is the changeover from print to digital display. So they are just bringing out a monitor. The judges are stretching their legs. People are relaxing for 2 seconds, and while the monitor gets up and going, and once that's going, we will be away again. Once again, just like to say a big shout out, thanks to Nikon for not only sponsoring the awards, but sponsoring the category. We love our people at Nikon for doing that. Appreciate it a great deal.
Voila. Are you going to saw it in half?
And just going to. And
Glenn, that was my
the
litmus paper.
technology is almost ready to go.
My litmus paper.
You know which one of us you're going to like, eh? You know what I mean? There's that guy.
I feel like generally we're like coming from quite a similar place most of the time. So then seeing you at the other end, I was like, what have I done?
And then that happens.
I was like, oh, come on, guys, come on. It was my litmus paper. Oh. And like, I was like,
Maybe I just spent too much time studying.
Hey, who in the judges haven't eaten? Hello, judges. Who hasn't eaten? Any of the judges not eaten? They don't care.
Have you eaten?
Glenn, have you eaten? Okay, don't worry. We'll sort you out shortly.
That's why scores are getting so low.
Everyone's
Sugars are
getting
dropping.
hungry.
The litmus test looked like food, and I was in trouble. It was like a licorice thing.
Don't make excuses.
Okay, I think we're ready. Was that the the lights?
Oh, a light went out.
Yeah, no, we want the lights out.
Two
Yep, we want the lights out.
Sharpen up.
Okay, we're good.
It's like when you're driving
The
along
key.
street like
So you just hit that keyboard there. Okay. Oh, could be there.
Totally like been eating carrots.
All the tick. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Rightio. So,
Yeah,
we're all good? Okay. Yep, I think we're ready to roll. So part 2, digital. So, are we ready? And go.
Yes.
Right.
Right, so we have an initial score of 78. And I think we've got a challenge from Rachel.
Yeah, I put this one in silver range at 82, and I feel like it's more than bronze. I really like the balance, and it's got a fresh, crisp feel about it. Feels joyful, even though there's a cloud there. You know, it's got a nice mood to it, and I think it's really nicely balanced. And there's some interesting little elements right on the horizon line that if I could see a bit more of what they are, I probably would have actually gone even higher. That was 82, so I just a little push up into silver.
Thank you. Can we hear from maybe Ilan?
I scored this image 77. I really enjoyed the composition, the negative space above the cloud, how heavy the cloud is by the weight, just by being down there, not by the color, and how it has some shadow on the grass. So I think it's technically fantastic. Yes, I gave this 77.
Right, thank you. I think anyone else somewhere in the middle there, I think I might grab you. If you're keen, Jason?
Yeah, I scored it the same as you, Ilan, 77, but you said a lot of good things, which confused me because I thought you were going to be on the same wavelength. Anyway, I think this is a very acceptable, well done version of a kind of Windows wallpapery type image, you know, and it's proficient. It's better. It's a little better than proficient because it's a little creative. It's a happy little cloud. I'm happy with that. To go further, I need maybe those horizon line elements to be clear. If one of those was, it looks like one of them might be a sheep, but I can't tell. And if it was, maybe there'd be a character I could connect to. There's a lot of headroom, a lot of negative space that I don't know how much it contributes to have that much negative space there. I just need something to grab hold of.
Thank you so much. We'll come back to you, Rachel, and you might have to all speak into your microphones a little bit. You might have to speak into your microphones a little bit more, just because we've got such strong rain going on.
Yeah, thanks for that. Ilan, I really enjoyed what you said, especially about the heaviness and the weight of the cloud. And I think that the negative space that Jace is talking about up there actually really adds to the communication of the weight of the cloud. But it's sort of telling me that there is weight, but there's still joy. And I really like the way that that's communicated throughout the image in that crisp and happy tone. So that's where I've gone with the silver.
Hey, thanks so much, Rachel. Great words. Could we have the judges to rescore? Oh, Rachel, you're going to have to work harder next time. I'm sorry. We've got a score of 78, which is a solid bronze award. Congratulations to the photographer. Well done. So we'll accept that. And we'll have the next image up. Thank you.
Okay, we have a score of 76. That's a bronze award. Struggling to hear over the rain on the roof, but can we just have a comment from somebody in the middle? Yep, go, Rick. There you go.
I love the graphic nature of this image from a distance, and when I got closer, I just wasn't rewarded with where that was going. I felt like the image is almost cut in two, and it was very, very heavy on the bottom and very light at the top. I feel there was a couple of different images going on in there, and the communication wasn't showing itself. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. We can't do blank screens with the digital, but we'll just give Glenn his lunch break. He's hanging out, I hear. And Matt, if you want to jump in for Glenn there. Thank you. Okay. And if we can have the next image, please. Go. Go.
Hang on.
What one are we?
We haven't accepted the last score, I don't think.
Sorry. Oh, God. Sorry. I'm in need of a lunch break now. Right. Okay. We have a score of 77, which is a bronze award. Okay. And we've got a couple of people that can challenge us. Jace, you're at the top.
Look, I was thinking about the upper bronze range, and I thought, no, this has got more impact than that, and I am looking forward to talking about it. It is very stark. It is very intense. The blacks are quite heavy, but there's detail throughout. The whites are quite bright, but I think there's enough there to hang on to them. They've been just held on to nicely. The strong light on the lighthouse is well controlled. I get it competes with the fence, but obviously that's deliberate. They're two strong elements in an image, and I don't think they completely take away from each other. So I'd like to hear why it shouldn't be in the silver range.
Matt, you're down the other end there.
Yeah, the high contrast has been used really well to create this graphic image. However, I feel like there's too much space on the left-hand side that's not really contributing with that old rusty kind of gate there, which could be an interesting element, but I think for this specific shot, it's not necessary. Just tighten it up and focus really on that white and dark relationship within the tonal ranges of the image.
Alan, you were wanting to have a word as well?
I scored this image 70. And what took me back from the award category was the bit of grass on the left side that actually breaks the horizon. And I thought, to make it cleaner, also the foreground on the left side is out of focus. And, the devil is in the detail. Everything else is so sharp and clean, and somehow that's distracting me.
Rebecca, you're at the top end there.
I awarded this a silver at 81. I think shouldn't repeat. The graphic quality of this is outstanding, and the rickety old fence with the brand new white picket fence, there's a great juxtaposition there. The lighthouse has been there for a long, long time, longer than that white fence, and to show its what used to be there would have been that rickety old farm fence. the photographer has deliberately shot it like this. It's well executed. I love the separation between the white fence and the horizon. It gives context to the lighthouse. It's sitting out on the peak with the top sort of mound of bush on the right. It's showing that it's there to do its job. Come up with me, silver.
Okay, and right of reply.
Yeah, I just looking at it, I think if you crop that left-hand side, it sort of falls apart. It brings the lighthouse too central. The structure is somehow lost. I hear you with the breaking the horizon. That grass, that does bug me. I can forgive it at a silver. The out of focus foreground, I think, is just is the depth. You know, it makes sense in context. I don't hear anything that's. I mean, I hear arguments against a higher or water silver distinction or gold, but I don't hear arguments against the silver. Let's reward this well put together image.
Okay, can we rescore, please? Well, I mean, like, you know, the talking has got it to a 79, which means that you now need to make a decision. Is it a 79 or an 80? So let's put in those review scores, please, judges. And it's a 79, which is a bronze award. Okay, great conversation.
Mine went in, but then it went blank. I pressed enter and then it's blanked it.
I did see it come up from a moment.
It wasn't there for a split second and then it went.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's averaged out. Yep. It did. Yeah.
Not that I'm
Alright.
making that screen. It just came up with a little warning.
Oh yeah. Yep. Sorry. Next image, please.
Quick comment.
Can't put down. Okay. He was in there for a while, wasn't he? Matt, what have you done?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll try pressing controls there a bit. Okay.
Standing by.
Yeah, it's just, there we go.
That's all right. We'll get it.
Yeah, it duplicated a cell, which is making it do funny things. So I put the score in. Well, it's got this clear cell here.
At least it went down.
Hey, do we need help?
I think we might need the actual.
We need some technical help, ladies and gentlemen. We have a. Oh. What is that? They have seen they've pre-seen the glitch. There was a movement in the force. The new tech guys are very good if they know, they can pre-see what's happening. Okay. Wow.
Just stop clicking on things until someone arrives.
Just
Matt, it's his fault. I was just
Matt's broken it, and anyway, well, the judges can relax. I can. Oh, maybe we should get one or two of the judges to sort of like give us a little bit of a background on themselves. And I'm struggling to remember who was at the beginning. Do we hear from Matt? No, we didn't. Okay, well, he broke the system, so maybe he should talk.
Yeah, you've got to reward the people that break the system because they help make the system better for next time. Look, I just clicked on the cell and accidentally duplicated it, and now it's doing some funny stuff. But yeah, I guess we're to ring in Australians. Mika and I, very happy to be here. We were actually here a couple of weeks ago on holiday, kind of saddened that we wouldn't make it here because we had other conflicting projects and things like that, but they were all cancelled, so we figured we'd come along anyway and join in on all the fun and view some amazing images from New Zealand, photographers, and a few around the world as well.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Oh, depends how you define interest.
And
Matt is a very important person. He's a bit modest.
he's extremely modest by what we can tell. Okay. Now, I think the system has been fixed. Yes, I think it has. Yep. Okay, we have a... Yeah, they even fixed it in the background. We didn't even have to... It's all like just lurking out the back there. All right, we have a score of 79, which is a bronze award. Rachel, would you like to say something?
Yeah, I would. I scored this 88, silver distinction. I found the structure, the construction of the image really, really appealing, as well as that lovely soft palette. Lots of things in there for my eye to journey through, and I thought that it was, especially with the different techniques used, quite easily in the silver distinction range. So it'd be really cool if you guys could tell me why I shouldn't be pushing for that.
Alan? Yep. Alan?
I actually enjoyed the graphical composition until I came slightly closer. And what took me back was there was a few things. Some of those rectangles have vignetting, and it's showing. It's showing quite stark. The borders are not sharp, so there is small black, hitting us. It's not nice and clean. And those bottom images are symmetrical in many ways. There's actually most of it is symmetrical, and I thought, I would be enjoying it more if there was a little bit less symmetry. And then those bottom images are out of focus. They are fuzzy, and everything else is sharp. So all these things together, even though the color palette is amazing, the bottom section is extremely dark, and the center, I was struggling so much with all those elements, and I didn't see the reason for that repetition.
Yeah, Matt.
I like the design of it in terms of referencing the paper walls in Japanese houses and that kind of thing. I don't know the official name. I felt like the repetition and mirroring of Mount Fuji or Fujisan may be a little bit culturally on edge if you were having Japanese judges or something like that, because they see this as a being within the landscape, and to kind of mirror it in that way. Personally, I'm an Australian, so I'm not too fussed about it, but I do look for what that's trying to communicate within the image, and I'm not finding why that repetition and why the mirroring exists to create that story.
Okay, looks like it's back to you, Rachel.
Okay. So thank you, Ilan, for pointing out that vignetting, because I had missed that, and that does disappoint me. I don't find the... I obviously I didn't understand about the Japanese referencing to the repetition either, but I didn't recognise the mountain. I was looking at it purely as a piece of art and an image on its own. I find the to reference what Ilan said about the blurry images on the bottom, I found that mix of techniques actually really interesting and added to the image for me. I also felt that there wasn't too much balance. There is little elements inside the rectangles either side of the centre which are not completely mirrored, they're not symmetrical, and that adds more interest to it for me as well. So still pushing for silver.
Okay.
Silver distinction, silver.
All right, so let's have a re-score there, please. Okay, good talking. Brought it over the line. 80, silver award. Okay, thank you very much. Can we have the next image, please?
No, Vika, look at that one first.
Okay. she said. Yeah. Okay, we have a score of 77. That's a bronze award. Amazingly tight numbers across the board. I'll just pick one. Rebecca, you're right in the middle there.
I scored this image a 77. The thing that I believe let it down was, for me, the dark tree on the left coming into the image distracted my eye. The muddiness in the bottom half in the river as well was quite muddy, and there was no detail in the blacks there. I believe if it was cropped slightly higher and off to the left, I think that would have definitely brought it up for me.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for that. Okay. We have the next image, please. Okay, and that's a score of 73, professional standard. Okay, so let's just have a comment from somebody. Matt?
Yeah, the photographer's using some interesting effects here. It looks a bit like lens baby kind of effects, whether that's been done in post-production or in camera. That adds an interesting take to the image. However, the orange in the sky feels a little bit too artificial and not believable for me in the way that it's been introduced to the image. And also the top peak is starting to blur, whereas the peak before that is the sharp one that's in the point of focus.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Okay, can we have the next image, please? Bring Glenn from that. Okay, we have a score of 73. That's professional standard. And Matt?
Yeah, there's an interesting scene in this image, and I like some aspects of the tonality and the composition. However, the way that the trees have been composited in isn't cohesive with the rest of the image. There's a few gaps where there's much brighter areas through some of the shrubbery, as well as on the right-hand side, there's not the crisp edges to the trees that there is on the left, so just a few technical details.
Okay, thank you very much for that. And we are going to just do a little bit of a change around, just managing a couple of things here. So, Matt, you are going to jump off, and Glenn, can you come back? Yeah, you should be all ready to go, freshly fed.
feel watered happy.
Okay. And they'll do us for now. Okay. All right. So, if we can have the next. No, we're on to this. Okay, next image.
Very nice, buddy.
We'll bring her on shortly. Take the line off. Okay, we have a score of 85, silver distinction. Rachel?
Yeah, I went gold with this in 92. The first thing I thought of when I looked at this is, you know, that funny little really close-up thing we see of the COVID molecule. It's sort of otherworldly and makes me inarticulate. I'm so excited looking at it. Just makes me think of whether it could actually be something that we're looking at on a petri dish, or no, those things, those microscopic, really interesting. I feel like it has got an element of a very unique perspective, even though it's an aerial image. The handling of the tones within the image is absolutely beautiful. The highlights are just, it's very, very masterful, very, very exciting. And I would really love to see it just pushed that little bit further into the gold range.
Glenn, could you offer a perspective?
Yeah. I was down there on 83, so still giving it what I think is a very good mark, because I'm quite inspired by this image. I looked around it for a while and didn't discover the nugget of gold that I wanted to find to give it a higher mark. I'm a little bit frustrated by where the edge line runs through, particularly the top left side. Yeah, it just feels it's slightly compositionally unresolved. I looked at a few people sort of imagining it cropped in different directions, using our hands for cropping lines, and I started to do the same thing too. That's why I haven't gone up higher. I'm happy with it being a gold, silver with distinction, but I think going gold is probably a few steps too far for me.
Jace?
Pretty in that silver distinction range myself. Things that kept me out of gold are those edge elements. Just don't need to be there. They're distracting, and having them right on the crop is frustrating. The heaviness on the lower left is bothersome to me, and the milkiness of the water, I guess. So it's sort of sitting somewhere between a totally abstract, I can forget what it really is and enjoy it as an abstract, and a literal image of a braided riverbed. And I like both of those things, but I'm kind of finding myself in no man's land between them. And I think that milkiness of the water is one of the things that takes it away from being enjoyable as a landscape, and those cropping issues maybe take it away from being the pure abstract. And there's quite a bit of space where not enough is going on in the sort of top middle area. Feels like a bit of a empty zone, which I'm not against emptiness, but yeah. It's frustrating because I want to love it.
Sounds like it might be back to you, Rachel.
Yeah, I don't have a problem at all with the edges, and unlike you guys, I didn't try and alter the crop because I was just getting so much pleasure out of what I was looking at. That milky water, that's arterial. It's feeding into all of these other elements. The negative space, or the slightly the area that Jay said there wasn't enough going on. It sort of makes me think of, I don't know, some sort of a web or some sort of creation that's it's otherworldly, and I think that there's magic there, and we just need to let ourselves see it a little bit more. That little bit of treetop, that gold treetop on the top left, that actually ties it all in with the ones throughout the rest of the image and brings me back to them rather than out of the frame, because there is a little bit of space there from the edge, and I don't find the heaviness at the bottom distracting at all. So yeah, still pushing for gold, guys.
Okay, let's rescore. Oh well, we brought it up a little bit. That's an 87. Good solid silver distinction. Okay. Good conversation. Okay, thank you very much. And if we have the next image, please. Okay, we have a score of 80, which is a silver award. So, all right, and Rebecca, you were sort of in the middle there, so a quick comment from you, please.
I awarded this silver at 81. The palette is gorgeous. It's sort of this fiery, orangey warmth with this beautiful layering in the middle, which draws your eye in. Well done to the photographer.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Oops. Technical issue. And, yep, let's have the next image, please. Okay, we have a score of 76, bronze. But Jason?
You go on. I find this quite challenging because
Can you announce your score?
My score was 82. I was in the silver range. I really hesitated because we're kind of trying to avoid saying I like it, but I actually don't like this. But as a personal reaction, but I'm trying to recognise what's going on. It's a confusing image. We had a pretty good look at it to try and figure it out. It took me a long time to decide what was going on. I mean, in some ways, quite literal. Sorry, I'm going nowhere. let's start with some problems. I get the inky black sky is too flat and too dark for me. I wish there was something in there. We could have potentially introduced something to give that some relief, some detail. But accepting that, it's really strong, it's sharp, it's technically very good. The silos or the industrial scene is very well rendered and put together really nicely. It's balanced. It's a strong image, and I'm willing to. The moon is convincing. It's not, doesn't make sense exactly, but it's. Oh, sorry, I'm not doing a good job. It's worth talking about. It's fascinating. I'm finding it a difficult image, and I wanted to reward it for challenging me in a way I couldn't fault.
Alan, you're down the other end there.
Yeah, I'm on the other end, just below award category. So the things that troubled me, Jace, the image is cold. It's very metallic. Everything is cold, and then the moon is so warm. And I thought this was not in harmony with the other parts of the image. The thing that took me away from really loving, because I love those silos. They are fantastically crisp and edgy and so much detail, but there's so much bright at the bottom. Those pipes at the bottom take my eye all the time. It's competing with the moon, and it's just noise in my eyes.
Okay, I'm looking for, yep, Rachel.
Yeah, I gave it a 77, and I'm quite happy to listen to Jace's fantastic talk up. No, sorry, Jace. I actually don't have a problem with the difference between the warm moon and the coldness of that industrial scene. I quite like it, and it sort of adds to the juxtaposition of the man-made and then the vastness. So we've got this massive thing in the sky, the moon, that sense of space, and then it's all confined into this man-made scene. The main reason I actually kept it out of a higher scoring range, because I scored it 77, was actually the cropping along the bottom and how close that was to the pipes. It sort of distracted me a little bit, but I'm quite happy to listen to being talked up. The detail in it is really, really neat.
Jace, I think it's for you to talk up.
All right, I need to do a better job. It's uncomfortable, right? It's uncomfortable. It is an image of discomfort. The hard, cold surfaces, and then the distant planet moon, the distant object, which is the moon. It's the natural. The moon is the only natural object in the thing, but at the same time, the moon is not something you can touch and feel. It's not a soft. It's all a very uncomfortable image, and I don't know if you've ever seen the moon rising close to the horizon and looking bright orange. It's an incredible thing to see, and I think this captures that in a really quirky way. It could be a plate for a horror movie or a sci-fi horror thriller movie, and it would be perfectly uncomfortable. And I don't think just because it's uncomfortable we should mark it down. I think we should reward such a crisp, well-captured, uncomfortable image.
Okay, let's rescore. Good try. 78, bronze award. Okay, and moving right along, can we have the next image, please? Okay, we have a score of 76. That's a bronze award. Pretty tight scoring there, Jason. Glenn. Just a word.
Enjoyed the camera position and what was going on with the frame. There was a couple of awkward bits in the composition as well, though, in particular that little white bit of cloud that's just sticking out of the rock on the left-hand side. Little things like that bugged me.
Okay, thank you very much. We're just going to have we're just going to wait for a moment, and we're going to. Okay, you can jump out. Yep, sure thing. Just temporarily, if we put Mika in. Oh, actually, oh no, yep, yes, thank you. And actually, the change that we were going to make was Alan, if you want to jump out, and Dan, if you want to jump in. Okay, just wait for those two people to. Oh, sorry, that's me again. Get too carried away in changing people around. Okay. Alright, just a reminder that this is the Landscape Open category sponsored by Nikon in the Nikon Iris Awards. It's very Nikon. Thanks to our friends at Nikon. Sorry? Yeah, no, Mika's just sending in. So, it's
Can I put my score in this
temporary.
one?
Temporary. Okay, we're all good? Let's roll.
Hungry judges.
Okay. Okay, we have a score of 79. And, yep, looks like we're happy with that. Hey?
Do we have to review that?
I believe,
If no one's challenging it, we have to review it?
yeah, I believe we do. I don't know how we get down to the review screen. I think if you just, yeah, if you go down to the, yeah, so we're just explaining what's going on. It's a 79 on the cusp. We have to either have a 79 or an 80 because it's on the award range. Yeah, I think you can go just straight down to the award.
Review
Yeah, image review.
and same again.
Yeah,
79 or 80.
79 or 80. Yeah.
Oops. What have I done wrong?
Leap on down to that one there.
Last person we're waiting for is
Yeah.
Dan.
That's the one.
Yeah. Okay, and that is a 79 bronze award. Quick, yes, sure.
So I actually am delighted by the light in this image and the detail of the caravan, and I really, really wanted to go in and appreciate even more. But what I found when I came up close was the blur around the edges and the bottom of the frame, and it really is distracting, and it's significantly impacted the image. And I would encourage the photographer to review that and perhaps undo that, because it seems to be an editing filter or something rather than in the original image. And I think the original image is fantastic. So please, if the photographer can go back and review that, you've got an image here.
Okay, good comments. Thank you very much. Okay, can we have the next image, please? Okay, we have a score of 77, which is a bronze. Rebecca, automatic challenge.
Here we go. Are you ready? I scored this an 88, silver distinction. Why did I do that? I did that. I know why I did that. For me, it was powerful. It was emotive. It made me feel something. It made me feel that it could even be warm in the water, the lovely steam. It could be morning light. I love the leading line from the left. And then I was rewarded with this raggedy old piece of wood that would have been in a flood, stuck where it is, and then your eye goes up out of the image and you just want to go to that light. It feels very ethereal. It's been handled very well. There's beautiful detail in the highlights. It has power. And I know this is a scene that we see, but it's been beautifully captured. The steam off the water gives an extra element. Let's reward the photographer for executing this incredibly and showing that emotion and power.
Okay, we've got two wanting to have another. Glenn, you can.
After you.
Mika, okay, you can go first.
I can absolutely see why the photographer took this image at this place, because the lighting is so dramatic. What I'm a little disappointed by or held back by is the bright area of grass at the bottom left, which really drags my eye down to that area and is not the most pleasing part of the image, and the bright area at the top right, which I think is lacking a little bit in texture compared to the other areas around it. The overall impression that I get is of busyness, and I don't feel that that would have been the impression at the time of capture. So I actually feel that the photographer has perhaps not honoured this scene as well as they could have, given the magnificence of what's been presented. So I'd like to hear some counteraction to those points.
Okay, Glenn wanted to jump in, however. I'll just let him do that.
I'll keep it fairly quick because a lot of what you said was exactly how I felt. That bottom left-hand side is really frustrating. It's really demanding of your attention, and it shouldn't be. There's something wonderful going on the centre right. That's the picture. It should have been cropped that way. There's something wonderful in here, but it hasn't been given to us the way I'd like to see it, which is really frustrating. It needs a massive crop as far as I'm concerned, and it does feel like those highlights to me are quite blown out. So close, but it's come up short.
Okay. Yep.
Just
okay.
just for the photographer, like I've been there when it's so overwhelming and the light's so incredible and you just kind of don't know where to shoot, so you shoot the whole thing, but pick a detail, please, and focus on it.
Right, yeah.
Deliver us a tight scene.
Okay, Rebecca, ready to reply?
I've got the fight in my hands here. For me, the very bright bottom left, yes, it draws your eye, 100% does. But I want to go and stand there. I want to be right there, standing, having that light on my face and enjoying the scene, and I have that feeling of wanting to be there. And I think that gives me, it gives me the emotion, it gives me that feeling of standing in the sun and enjoying those beautiful moments. And I think that if we'd cropped half of that out, we wouldn't really enjoy the entire scene. And I feel that we could be standing on that spot and really being almost lifted up into that beautiful space on the top right, with the journey along the way. I think I feel like it deserves a silver. I'm there.
Okay, let's rescore.
Challenge score.
I tried.
78, bronze award. Okay. It seems Mika was just temporary for. Oh, sorry, Rachel. Okay, no, you got a mouthful of food. Okay, just. Okay. And if we can have the next image, please.
Oh. Sorry, I'm just going to grab my glasses.
Oh, okay, yep. Most definitely use your spectacles. Okay, we have a score of 80. That's a silver award. And Rachel? Sorry, put you right on the spot.
Yeah, I really enjoy the symbolic elements in this image, the arrows pointing anywhere but at the church. I find that quite ironic, I like it. But I found the brick wall or the solid wall on the left-hand side of the image just distracted me from the rest of the scene.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. And can we have the next image, please? Should be all right. You guys,
You guys all right?
do we ready to go?
Yeah, that wasn't, was that just a comment, not a challenge?
Yeah, no, it was a
Yeah.
comment.
Yep.
Yeah, just a comment. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sure. Matt, just for this one image. Yep. Okay, we have a score of 75, and that's a bronze award. Okay. Fairly close scoring there, so I'll just take somebody from the middle. Glenn? Oh, Matt.
Fake Glenn.
Yeah, I found the depth of this image and the atmosphere quite beautiful. However, I would have liked a little bit more depth of field and detail throughout the whole scene rather than just that foreground area.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. And if you can just jump out and... Okay, next image. Okay, we have a score of 86, which is a silver distinction. And it's a great score. So, just looking for somebody that would like to say something. Yeah, Rebecca?
Sure. Oh. Dear. I'm going to go.
Okay.
Fantastic subject. Really like the way it's been treated. That receding line is awesome. The subject's well found, but there is a little bit of lack of detail in the black, and there's a question mark in my head as to why one pole has all that ice on it and every other one doesn't.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. Now, we're just going to do a little bit of a judge change, just a little jiggle around. Glenn, take some time. And Mike, welcome back.
Thank you.
And, all right.
Thank God for that.
Okay. We can do that. And we have, oh, sorry. Just trying to manage too many things at once.
There we go.
Okay. Mike's just logging in, finding his tab, and we can see the next image, please.
Thank you.
And what we're seeing here are salmon tails, and that particular tone brings meaning and to that. So yeah, I'm still listening to you.
Okay,
good on you.
Jace.
Right, the longer I look, I see the sinuous movement of a multi-headed dragon flying off into the ether. I see the tracings of a of some kind of being that has moved through the landscape and left a flaming trail of something behind it. I'm not concerned about the technical details at all. At first, I was a bit worried that there wasn't enough resolution of detail, but then I realized it's not about the literal rendition of that actual place. It's about the feelings and emotions and the symbolism of it all, and it is incredibly powerful as a symbolic piece. Even the fade off at the top, which I initially was a bit unsure about, I think that's symbolizing the sort of infinity that it's traveling off into. It's disappearing into the sky. It's any number of things you can read into it, and I'm just so stoked that you're all going to come up to gold with me.
Okay, can we please rescore, judges?
Can I just jump to say one thing?
No, you can't, unfortunately.
It was going to be positive.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, well done. 91 and gold award.
Can I just pause for a second? Nothing to do with that. I've got a weird line of code appearing at the top of my
Oh, crikey.
thing, and I don't know if it matters.
Can somebody...
Yeah, it's fine, eh?
Is it still there?
Just a bit at the top there.
Yeah, it's like it's just the formula for that cell. It's okay. Oh yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't showing before, but
That's all.
thanks,
Are,
team.
are you happy with that?
I think well, it doesn't seem to be a problem.
Doesn't seem to be... We'll just get a tech person to have a look at it
Okay. Oh, I think
over your shoulder.
you can't see. Oh no, you can see it now.
It's
oh
just
yeah.
when you hover
it's
over
just,
the cell.
it's just when you select. Oh yeah. Okay. It's just when you select a cell that is.
It might just be because you're on the
comes out of
oldest
an algorithm.
laptop
Oh
on
no, it
the...
doesn't matter. Sweet.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's move along. Time is ticking. And so, next image. I don't think it was a big deal. He was just seeing a bit of code over. I think it's okay. Yeah, just look over his shoulder.
It was just that I all of a sudden noticed that.
Oh, it's in someone else's browser. Part of the. It's fine. What it is.
Okay, we have a score of 77, a bronze award. So, Very tight scoring there. I'll just look for somebody. Mike? Just a quick comment. Okay, Rachel.
Yeah, I think that's a really lovely use of technique, like the tones. The narrow strip of dark cloud along the top is a little bit heavy. It does balance the bottom, but I feel like there's something unresolved about it.
Okay, thank you very much.
We need technical assistance.
Oh, you need technical assistance.
Yes.
Because there was a phone call.
There was an incoming call on the laptop.
Oh, really?
Ah, okay.
Is it actually clear?
On that laptop.
Yeah, the connected phone to the laptop.
Let's all just come and look. That'll make it better.
It was
Somebody's pocket probably vibrating right at the moment. Phone's
Is it just 3 fingers swipe? Because I reckon it's full screen in the next desktop.
Oh, crikey. There's 100 experts around the laptop.
well done.
I have a problem. It's not really a problem. You have a problem. It's
Okay,
just,
right.
we'll help each other.
Okay, so moving along. Next image, please. Okay, we have a score of 77. That's a bronze award. All right, and taking from Jace, would you like something?
Square crop's a bold choice, especially with a 50% horizon. I think it would have been strong without so much foreground, and maybe doesn't need the top either. Beautiful. Beautiful texture though.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you very much. Okay, and can we have the next image, please? Okay, we have a score of 75, which is a bronze award. Okay, happy with that? Okay. Can we just get maybe, I don't know, Rebecca?
I felt that this image would have been lifted if there was more detail in the post coming out of the ocean there. And I think a clean black and white instead of sepia would have lifted it further with a bit sharper whites and darker blacks, but just, larger depth of field and a bit more tonality in there.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Alrighty, next image, please. Okay, we have a score of 78, which is a bronze award. Rachel, you would like to challenge?
Yeah, I went 84 in silver. It took me on a lovely, lovely journey. I saw the little bits of road in that left-hand foreground, and then when I got closer, I just went on this lovely journey, and the detail throughout the image is so sharp and crisp, and so your eye just keeps going and coming back. I would have actually gone silver distinction, but I found that little bit of road on the bottom left, it was a distraction, so I probably would have taken that out or cropped it slightly differently, but still felt that it was a really strong silver.
Okay, yeah, Mike.
Yeah, I gave the 74, mainly because I'm not sure what the subject of the matter is. I keep looking through this image, and I find myself in the centre, and it's the emptiest point of the image. And when I keep coming back to the roads in the foreground, they're not taking my eye on there. They keep dragging my eye to the back, to the bottom left corner. So I'm sort of finding what is the subject of this, and is it dominant enough to make me really enjoy it? And I don't find it.
Okay, in the middle there, Jace.
There's a photograph there somewhere. Go back and find it. At the moment, there's a road story at the bottom. Yeah, there's a mountain story at the top, and there's a bit of no man's land in the middle. You said it's sharp and crisp. I think it's over sharpened, or it's too much dehaze or clarity or something. It's kind of gone a bit crunchy for me, and the snow areas have lost detail. And I'm partial to mountains, so I was a bit disappointed there. But I want to reward it with a bronze.
Okay, Rachel.
Are you sure you had lunch, Jace? No, I get what you're saying about the in the middle there, Mike. But I actually find that what I'm enjoying is the fact that I'm not settling on any one particular thing. I'm going on a journey, and it's the composition of the road is leading me through that and then back up into the mountains, and that's actually part of what I'm really excited about. And I didn't feel like it was over sharpened. I actually thought it was quite nicely, maybe even focus stacked. Yeah, so I still think it is worthy of a silver.
Okay, guys, let's rescore. That is a 78, bronze award. Okay, now we need to just move somebody around. Sorry, just looking here. It was Rebecca, wasn't it? No. Glenn for Rebecca, please. Okay. Next image. Whoops. Yeah, I did it the wrong way around.
Well, print 71, but
Just waiting for the last one. And we have a 76 bronze award. Okay, Glenn, it seems you were last in.
Yeah, hey, look, gorgeous day at the office. Love the colour combinations. There's a lot working for it. Would have almost liked to see a slower shutter speed to drag a little more movement into that.
Okay, great.
Banding in the sky as well.
Hey, thank you very much.
As a constructive criticism.
Okay, yep, no, fair enough. Okay. Just this once. Okay.
Time down.
All right. Can we have the next image, please?
I'll get the big hook from the side in a second.
Okay, we have a score of 78, a bronze award. And
Yeah, go on,
Jace. Okay. You've got
Look, I gave this an 83. It's a silver. I think it's absolutely worth that. It's extremely well executed, and it's if you take the phone booth away, it's a nice long exposure landscape. But that detail is so incongruous that it made me think a bit harder and a bit longer, and it made me happier to look at it because of that challenge. It gave it made it feel. I mean, I'm not a Doctor Who guy, but it made it make sense to have that much space in it because maybe it's travelling to another dimension or whatever Doctor Who does. Time, I don't know. I think there's enough going on in those reflection shadow type things to have a bit of interest in the water that it makes sense to me, and the tonality is spot on.
Okay, Mike.
Yeah, I gave this a 72. I really felt that the left-hand side's a great photograph and the right-hand side's not a photograph.
All right. Yep, Rachel.
I gave this a 77, and to be fair, I was a little bit chicken because I thought that Jace didn't have any meat in his sandwich. I get what Mike's saying. I didn't really enjoy the brightness of the right hand side, but I love the idea and the concept and this sort of who the hell are you going to call from there? I mean, it's a really incongruous place for a phone booth to be, and I can easily come up into the silver range.
All right, Jace.
Crop a vertical just of the phone booth, and it's a silver distinction. With that extra space on the right hand side, it gives you some room to think, but maybe holds it back from going quite as high. Comes silver.
Okay, let's rescore.
It's going to be 79, isn't it?
Building tension in the room.
There you go. 80. Silver award. Okay. And just before we go on to the next image, Mike, would you like to take a break? And can we have Matt, please? Okay. And oops, I need to do that. I'm very terrible. Yep, I think we're ready to go. Or close to ready to go. Okay, and next image. Okay, we have a score of 77. That's a bronze award. Yes, Matt. You can. Yes, elective cat. Go for it.
Yeah, it's a very simple image, but it's crafted beautifully. The texture on the rocks is quite ridiculously captured. The highlights and tonal values of this black and white or monochromatic image have been handled beautifully. I like the way that the grasses are hugging these rocks that are quite prehistoric in feel. And then a little bit of the sky at the top actually gives you more of a sense of place and also offers you a little bit of breath from, you know, if it was fully enclosed within the landscape, it would actually feel a little bit claustrophobic. But by having that sky there and the distant hills, it just gives it more of a relaxing feel than if it were fully enclosed. Overall, I think it's beautifully taken. It establishes a sense of place. The detail and the craft is beautiful. I've given it an 81, so I'm not going crazy on it, but I think it's a solid silver.
Glenn, you're down the other end.
Yeah, look, I was down there on 73. I enjoy the photograph, but the reasons, Matt, that you like that sky are just, I find that sky quite frustrating, and it is a very simple image with one quite frustrating point to me. So, yeah, look, I'm happy that it's ended up with a bronze. It deserves that. I'm good with that, but I think a silver's too far. There's some awkwardness about the composition, and it's caught between being one of those photographs that's simple and elegant, and then a photograph that is got a lot going on, and it's just caught in the middle of that. It's not simple and elegant enough for my eye.
Okay. Dan, you're sort of like in the middle there. Quick word?
Well, I'm stuck in the middle of your two guys' opinions as well.
Just to the
I
mic,
like
please.
The texture of the rock is phenomenal.
To the mic.
I've done it again. The texture of the rock is just phenomenal, and it's echoed by the sheer prickliness of the grass. Glenn, I'm with you on the sky at the top, but it does give depth, and I think the depth of the picture is probably the ending point for me, and what I take away from it. It has a lot of depth.
Okay, Matt. Bring it home.
Yeah, I'd actually encourage you to hold your hand in front of this and do your own crop and see how you feel if you do crop the sky out, because I just think it needs to be there. And you actually follow the journey of the valleys from the distant hills to this location, and it also gives you an appreciation for just how rare these rocks are, that you're not seeing these rock formations on all of the distant hills as you travel backwards. It's giving a feel of the uniqueness of this specific place, why the photographer's capturing it, and that they've captured it beautifully. So I appreciate there's a little bit of agree to disagree in there, but crop it yourself, see what you think, come up to a mild silver.
Okay, guys, let's rescore. Matt, have you inputted
sorry.
your number there? Okay, 80 silver award. Okay, glad the author will be very happy with that. A little bit of talking. Okay, can we have the next image, please? Okay, we have a score of 75, which is a bronze award. And I'll just pick, I don't know, let's say Jace. Do you want to say something?
I think it's a really well observed scene. Just I don't know, not well rendered. The graininess and heaviness of the sky, the darkness of the shadows. Would love to see some detail on those shadows. Just a hint. Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you very much. Next image, please. Okay, we have a score of 80, which is a silver award. Okay. Well, pretty tight numbers around there, so let's just, for the final image,
Do you want to comment?
yep, if you want to have a comment,
Yeah,
go.
I thought this was really beautifully executed, and the precision and intention in the image was really, really lovely. I think the reason that I didn't score it any higher was that I didn't feel like it was a really unique perspective on something.
Okay, great. Thank you for that, guys. All right, so that is us. We are all done. So I'd like to thank the thank the judges for their participation. I'd also like them to just hang fire, don't go anywhere. I'd like to thank Nikon for sponsoring the category and the awards. And the print handlers, of course. Let's thank the UCOL print handlers, okay, who have all sort of disappeared somewhere. But yes, they work tirelessly out the back there. Okay, right. Thank you very much, guys. Yep.